and welcome back to Social Club. I'm joined by two of the biggest England fans known to man, and one person who doesn't give a flying fuck about England.
It's true.
And probably international football in general.
How dare you? I'm an Ireland fan.
Oh, sorry, mate.
I thought you were talking about me.
No. You're a massive England fan, aren't you?
Buzz probably cares more about Ireland than I. I do. Actually.
The thing is, though, there's a massive story at the moment, isn't it? Gareth Southgate's been given the interim manager's job for England. Do you know what? I want to come to you first on this, Liam. Should he be given the England job?
Funny enough, this afternoon I was listening to, or this morning, sorry, I was listening to TalkSport, right, and had Ian Holloway on. And as much as Ian Holloway is entertaining, I think he generally talks shit, but he made a good point this morning that the English FA are undermining him. And I can kind of agree with that. Like, I mean, ultimately, you can only beat what's put in front of you. He beat Scotland. He beat some nobody team before. It was Slovakia? Slovakia, whatever. He beat them. You know, he's done what he was put out to do. He's 2 games from 2. Like, and
he's got 7 points from 9, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So 2 wins so far.
I mean, but what more does he have to do for the job? Also, who else has they got? Who else is going to take the job? They want someone who's going to be English to take the job. There is no one else. Steve Bruce was probably your next best thing, wasn't he? But he's just signed for Villa, and he's flying with Villa at the minute, isn't he?
I must admit, when it was all announced, I was thinking, 4 games, it takes us to March, I think, is the next game. Obviously, he's got the Spain game tomorrow night. That's his last game in charge, isn't it? And then we've got till March, the FA, to make a decision. I was thinking Eddie Howe might have been getting sort of spoken to along the way. They bought themselves some time.
I think the FA want to kind of hedge their bets. They want to wait till tomorrow night and see them get spanked 5-0 by Spain. So just in case they don't offer him the job, they'll go, well, he couldn't compete against the big boys. No disrespect to Scotland or whoever else it was they were playing, but they compete against the big teams, can't do it anymore. We want someone who can do that. Whereas if he goes and beats Spain tomorrow night, well, I don't think that's going to happen, obviously, but if he goes and does that, then they've got no excuse to have to give him the job.
Yeah. Oh, no, I can see that. And Robbie, you are a massive England fan and care deeply about it. Do you think that Southgate's the right man to move England forwards?
No, I don't. No.
Who is?
Very uninspired by Southgate. I hear people saying, he gives a good press conference. I could give a good press conference. So what,
He's a definitely
you'd start asking the press the questions, though, Robbie. That's the difference.
I'm uninspired by him. This thing, if you want to be the best, right, why are we saying things like, well, he's the only person that's it. No, he should be actively going out there and trying to find the best person for the job. He's the interim manager. Yeah, you've done a decent job in the meantime, but I think they should wait.
Robbie, it's
and
a poison
see what
chalice.
else comes up.
The England job is a poison chalice.
I know it's a poison chalice, but there's somebody who will take it.
It's the worst job in world football, no matter what you do or how you perform. Unless you win the World Cup, you're a dickhead. Really? It's honestly, though, the English press will slate you and destroy you no matter what.
All that is true. But I still think if you want to, you're going to win anything under Gareth Southgate. And then all we're going to have, right, is going to be the same old thing all over again. The guy, I always say this, right? Would you have him at United?
Never.
Would you have him at Liverpool?
Not a chance.
Would you have him at Everton?
Not a chance.
So what are we having him at England for? If we want to win something. Simple as that for me.
Because you've got no other option.
It's over. That's it.
You've got no other option.
What about Wenger as England manager?
Maybe they hang on and wait to see what happens with Wenger. Maybe they hang on and wait to see what happens with a whole host of other managers. What's the rush? What have we got to give him a job for? We haven't got another. The games that he has won, yeah, I'm not being funny. We're supposed to win those games.
Yeah.
And even if when we play Spain, they're going to rest loads of players. We're going to rest loads of players because, lots of Premier League players and La Liga players have got big games coming at the weekend. Right, you've already seen Harry Kane's gone back, Rooney's not playing. There's loads of guys that are going to be rested. So it's not going to be a true game, is it? Even if he went out there and he beat Spain 3-0, you're not playing the real Spain that you're going to play in a tournament, just like they're not playing the real England they're going to play in a tournament. So that game for me don't count. The Scotland game, I was watching that the other night, and I'm telling you what, if Scotland would have had a bit more quality in the last third, they would have given England trouble.
They're poor.
Oh, yeah,
right? They missed some very
Yeah.
easy chances. I still think we would have won the game, but I was not overly impressed with that performance either. Right? Was it Slovakia we drew? I'm not impressed with Gareth Southgate. He's not come in in this interim time and done anything new for me. He's not.
What
It's the
would you
same
expect
team.
him to do? What would you expect him to do?
I want to see somebody come in and make some changes.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Be inspirational.
So basically just sack all the players.
He's come in,
bring in a couple of new names. He's the same
He's
players.
come in now and he's
Might as
dropped
well have
Rooney
Roy
in his
there.
first game in charge. He dropped Rooney in his first game in charge. So he proved he can make a big decision.
No, he didn't.
By the way,
the second game he dropped. Rooney.
sorry, the second game. So he's proved that he can make a big decision. I'm not for Gareth Southgate, but there are some, I think, points that go to him. You know, he understands the England setup better than anybody else. You know, he's been there a long time. He's won a tournament with the under-21s. He won the Toulon tournament last summer. So he's won stuff. He knows about tournament football. He's been around. He's been the under-21s manager for 3 years.
Keep him with the under-21s. I'd leave him there.
He only lost 3 of 31 games. Win percentage is 80%. You know, that's decent. He's been the head of development. He's been the head of elite development for England. So he's worked with Trevor Brooking on this.
That's done well, isn't it?
Look, I'm just saying. There's no one out there who's coming out and going, "Give me the job."
No, but
so,
listen, they've got the resources.
This is the worst job in world
and
football.
they've got the money.
I agree,
Listen, they've got the money. They've got the resources. Right? What's the rush? Wait and see what happens. Managers will become available. Right? Why do we? This, when I hear it, depresses me when I hear people saying, well, that's it, there's nobody else. I'm like, well, hang on then, or start searching around. You know what I mean? Because as I said, none of us would have Gareth Southgate. There'd be meltdowns.
The real reason why I wouldn't
There'd be
have
meltdowns with our fans.
The real reason
of all of your clubs, right? If Gareth Southgate was appointed the manager.
If I was
so
an England
why
manager,
are we giving him?
it's a great point.
Why are we giving him the top job?
For
it's
me,
ridiculous.
There's 2 issues with the whole of the England stuff. One, does it need a full-time manager? Because we've had full-time, and McGarbage every single time.
Hang on a minute. I suppose the counterpoint to that is, if you give someone 8 hours a week, do you think they'll do better?
I'm saying if you had someone like Wenger to do it as an overseas, who sees the place, he plays every week, preparing against English players.
How do you think Arsenal feel about that?
Every week.
Yeah, the club wouldn't like that.
So we're saying, at the moment, though, there's nobody else. As you've just said, there's nobody else to get. Who could you get? But you know what? Even if you brought in Guardiola to do it, we would struggle because the quality isn't.
We would be better than what we're playing now.
The quality isn't there, and the quality won't be there until they address the bigger problem, which is
the media,
English players.
They're not. No, mate, I disagree with that. Do you want to know why I disagree with this?
No,
let me speak with you. That's why I disagree with it, right? The English players, individually for their clubs, are some of the best in the country, if not the world, right? Now, let me see where I'm going with this.
Name me an English player who's world class, though.
Let me see where I'm going with this. As the England manager, you have to motivate those players to play together. Your job is motivation. Right? You think, Gareth, how are you going to motivate a bunch of players that no matter what happens are going to get fucking ridiculed every time they kick a ball? Everything they do. Sturridge scored at the weekend and he still got shit in the press about it today, didn't he? Not that I'm a fan of Sturridge or anything. He still got grief because he's lazy, he doesn't do this, because he doesn't do that. He scored against Scotland on Friday and he's still getting grief. How is Southgate or any other manager going to motivate that team?
That's not.
But you know what? Doesn't matter who it is, you put in there.
Right.
That is not a unique thing. Right,
I agree.
To manage in England. A Brazil coach would get the same, right? They'll get the same.
But they're not going to have to deal with the Brazilian media.
Don't get me wrong, our press is terrible when it comes to those things. But, if you're managing Brazil or any of those teams, you're under loads of pressure as well, right? Now, I just feel that, if you want to move, I hear what you're saying about the players, but look at Wales. How is it that Wales are able to get to a semi-final?
Because there's no pressure.
But yes, they've got Gareth Bale, but how many other players in Wales' team, probably Ramsey, that would get into England's team?
If I'd have said to you, Chris Coleman's going to manage England, you'd go, no fucking way.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. For exactly the same reasons that you've just giving Gareth Southgate the job.
No, but
Chris
Coleman's a better manager.
I think the other
He's a better manager anyway.
He's a better motivator, not manager, motivator. For international tournaments, you can pick who you want to pick. Ultimately, it's 90% of the team, 90% of managers would pick probably the same squad, maybe one or two differently. It's how you motivate the team to play.
I think
how you can't motivate a bunch of players that don't want to play.
Liam, this has gone on when we had our golden generation.
I think you need a manager
We're poor at every tournament. Absolutely.
The thing for me is if you want the press to
98.
get off their back, you've got to get a great manager who the press respect.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
I agree.
Because the press will second guess every single decision Southgate makes. I've got idea.
We've all said so.
I've got no idea.
Out of there, who could we get?
Out of anything, I'd be going for Wenger because he understands long-term visions, and I don't think England's a quick fix. I'm not thinking that in 2 years' time we can win a tournament. I'm thinking the next time that England can win a tournament is 10 years. If everything's done right now.
There's no real progression, though. It's like you've just said there, we've got Spain, or they're playing Spain tomorrow night in a friendly. It's a friendly, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how much I watch it now with England. But, so tomorrow night, realistically, should be players who might get in the squad who are going to be knocking on doors. But for too many friendlies, going back years, it'd always be John Terry and Gerrard and Lampard. And there's lads there who we don't know whether they can do it. Aren't getting that game time. Tomorrow night should be all players like
I want a manager
players who might get in and might challenge.
I want a manager who will inspire the players. If Jurgen Klopp, Guardiola, people like this was run, you see, them guys will make difficult decisions. Right?
They will, but
they're not scared of the newspapers. Look at Guardiola. He came in, he said, Joe Hart, the way I want to play, you don't fit the bill. See you later.
Yeah.
But that's
do you
what it
think
comes down
Southgate?
to.
Do you think Southgate, if he would have gone into City, would have had the balls to do that? No way.
No way.
With Klopp has gone in and said to guys like Sacco and that
Good luck.
Sorry.
Yeah. But this is what it comes down to.
Southgate is not what England needs.
I can't
right
see
now.
you getting a manager at the top of their career now, whereas I think you can get a top manager at the end of their career, which is why I would go for Wenger myself.
Wenger's the one.
Because guys, Jurgen Klopp's, Guardiola's, they love football, they're involved in football, they want to be there every single day on the training ground, they want to oversee stuff. At the age that they're at now, they're not ready to take what is essentially a part-time job.
Or the other option, Chris, is you get a top up-and-coming manager. And I don't think Southgate is a top up-and-coming manager.
So if that's the case, you go for Eddie Howe then? That's who it is.
Maybe Eddie Howe would be a good shout.
Has he got the respect?
Maybe Eddie
But if
Howe
he
might
does
not
have
be
the
a bad
respect, he won't
shout.
take the
But
job.
let's not rush into it and just say, oh yeah, we've got Southgate. There's nobody else. I hear all these press guys going. These are the same press guys.
Well, what kind of top manager do you think you're going to be able to attract, Robert? Be honest about it, like.
Listen, England job pays a load of money for starters, right? And money's always
there's plenty of other jobs out there to pay the same amount of money.
And it is. I still think it could be an attractive job. And I also feel that the people who are in charge need to do their due diligence and go out there and find, just like if it was at club level. How did Arsenal find Wenger? Nobody really knew much about him when he came in. You know what I mean? Go out there and find that guy. How did, Borussia Dortmund find Klopp and Thomas Tuchel? How do you find these guys? You go out there, you do the due diligence, and you find what is needed for the country. The guy that's going to inspire players. The guy that has,
That's almost
the guy that has got
lads,
thoughts
we're not
on
going
how
to
we're going
solve
to
this
play.
problem now. But
Well,
you
they're gonna
might in the comments section. So let us know who you think will be the next England manager and who you think should be as well. Thanks very much for watching, of course. Don't forget to subscribe to Ball Seat to get all the latest videos first in your subscriptions intake. Again, thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next show.